Okay, so it's very short. Mickey would come on set every morning, and we would have to make sure that Mickey would be on time. And Mark was in charge to do that. And Mark would come back right away to me and say, "Why don't you do that?" And then I would go, and then I would go back to Mark and say, "Why don't we do it together?" And then Mickey would come and would say good morning to Mark and call him producer number 2. And Mark would be a little bit upset, and I was very happy. So that's my little story. Steven Dorff was happy too.
Fair enough. Hey, so Henry, I'll ask you another question. These people are going to lose their mind. It's fantastic. Is everybody happy to see Henry? You haven't, this is your first Comic-Con, is that right?
It is, yes.
How's it going so far?
Great so far.
When you look for the voice of a character, a character like yours, where do you start? I mean, it's for a modern audience, but I mean, this is a story from the past. How do you find the voice of your character?
That's a tricky thing, because you don't want to make it sound too stuffy and oldie-worldy, as you say, but at the same time stay loyal to the age of a character like Theseus. So it's a tricky one. You've got to find a fine balance and play it out as you go along, really. Just try not to be too English about it, and try not to be too American either.
Fantastic. Tarsem, tell us about sort of the genesis of this project and the beginning of your involvement.
I think when they told me it's a movie about gods in Greek times, I just thought I wanted to address the idea of gods. And my mom had said something to me about 1.5 years ago that kind of started this whole thing for me, which was, I mean, I've been an atheist since I've been like 9 years old, and she's very religious. And she turned around to me one day and said, I was just saying something equally blasphemous to her, and she turned around and said, "How do you think you're as successful as you are if it wasn't for my praying?" And I thought, you know what, I want to make a movie where a guy like me dies and he goes up there and there's God and he goes like, "You schmuck, I've been wanting to give you crap, but because of this woman's praying, I gave you all your success." So it started from there, the idea that if there are gods, why don't they interfere? Why is there all the misery in the world? And the idea was how to solve it. Do you go with free will? Do you go with a whole bunch of issues that I thought if I could put those into the script, I'd make it happen. I started with them in the script, and now they're a little bit there. So enough of my DNA is in there for me to feel it's my film.
Thanks.